now your hosts, Ryan Kane and Zach Daughtry.
Good evening, barbecue family, and welcome to another episode of Midwest Backyard Matters, proudly presented by Man Meat BBQ. Whether you are on your driveway, in your backyard, or out on the KCBS competition trail, always remember that backyard matters. It looks like I will be flying solo tonight. I am Zach Daughtry of Breaking Slabs Barbecue. My co-host and buddy Ryan Kane got caught up working at the Kansas City Grill Company tonight, and he unfortunately will not be able to join us in co-hosting duties on the show tonight. But that's okay. We'll roll with it anyway. So let's just get right into it. So there were four total backyard competitions this week in KCBS. And the first one was in Denison, Iowa. And this was the Tri-City Barbecue Fest. Taking grand champion Smack Hugh, reserve grand champion Smokin' Suckers, third overall Bar Down Barbecue, fourth Casual Smokers, fifth Grill 'em All, sixth Uncle Ed's Lads, and rounding out the top seven Smokin' Side Hustle Barbecue up in Denison, Iowa. Had a real pretty good turnout for the Mount Carmel Illinois comp this weekend. This was Smokin' for Garrett in Mount Carmel, Illinois. Winning grand champion Piggin' and Grinnin'. Reserve grand champion Bone Daddy's Barbecue. Third, Ridge Bros Barbecue. Fourth, our buddies Drew and Joey with Furlong Smokin' Seafood. Fifth, Brian Calhoun and Weeze's Groovin' Barbecue. Sixth, Two Swine Crew. Seventh, Robert Jackson with Swinolicious. Eight, Triplets Barbecue. Ninth, Tojo Smoke Me Tender. And rounding out the top 10 in Mount Carmel, Loose Cannon Barbecue. Third competition this weekend was down in Tuscumbia, Alabama, and this was Mission Q, winning the grand championship at Mission Q, Hickory Hangover. Reserve grand champion Puck Daddy's Killer Q. Third overall Hell on Squeals. Fourth, The Real Squeal Barbecue. Fifth, Red Bones Barbecue. Sixth, Deviant Smoke. Seventh, Scuttlebutts. Eighth, Toa Smoke. Ninth, Norala Barbecue Team. And rounding out the top 10 in Mission Q, Rib Life. Last competition to cover for this week was the Smoke on the River contest in Burlington, Kansas. Winning grand champion, Two Sauced Barbecue. Number two, O-Town Q. Winning reserve grand champion. Third, Money's Stove Barbecue. Fourth, Smoke on the Prairie. Fifth, Bunky's Hickory Pit. And sixth, GSW Barbecue at Smoke on the River in Burlington, Kansas. Just a little bit of movement in the Team of the Year Backyard Chicken Points Chase. Staying in first, Furlong Smokin' Seafood. Second, Ham Squad. Third, Devin Holt and Fluffy Butt Barbecue. Moving up to fourth, Schmack You. Remaining in fifth, Rib Life. Sixth, Weeze's Groovin' Barbecue. Moving up to seventh, Hickory Hangover. 8, my buddy Josh Hess and Hess Hogs 4. 9th, Leela Q. And rounding out the top 10 in the backyard chicken points is Veteran Pork Pullers. So backyard ribs stayed pretty much the same. Remaining in first overall, Weeze's Groovin' Barbecue. Second, Robert Jackson and Swinolicious. Third, The Fat Is Where It's At. Fourth, Leela Q. Fifth, my buddy Alan Larimore, Wrecking Crew Barbecue. Sixth, Dog Patch Q. Seventh, TFS Pit Vipers. Eighth, Hickory Hangover. Ninth, Mispillion Meatworks. And rounding out the top 10 in the Team of the Year Backyard Ribs Points Chase, Furlongs, Smoke, and Seafood. Well, let's go ahead and bring on our guest this evening. Out of the great town of Osceola, Missouri, we have the Muddy River Smokers. You'll have to forgive us. It's going to be a very Brady Bunch kind of night tonight on the screen here with everybody hopping on.
Hey, there's Will.
Hey, guys, welcome so much. Hey, guys, welcome so much to the show tonight. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Chuck, how you
Always
doing?
good.
So let's kind of go around the horn here on the screen and tell us what your name is, what year you are at Osceola High, and just kind of introduce yourself to the audience this evening. Chuck, how about we start with you?
Okay, I'm Chuck Simpson. I've been teaching agriculture and FFA advisor for 23 years. We're starting my second full year of competing at the high school level with the students, and then I've competed off and on. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Bree and Jordan, how about you guys?
I'm Jackson Jr.
Bree, you're kind of cutting in and out there. Nobody could hear you.
Sorry. I'm a freshman.
You're a freshman.
You guys need to get in.
William, how about you?
Well, I'm William Murray, and it's my freshman year.
Freshman year. Chloe?
I'm Chloe Hooper, and this is my junior year at Osceola. And then these two joined me because theirs isn't working.
Fair enough.
So, I'm Rihanna Cameron. I'm a freshman. I'm Grace Colby, and I'm a sophomore.
Skylar, how about you?
I'm Scott Fullers, sophomore. I'm Keaton Davis, and I'm a sophomore.
Well, guys, welcome so much to the show tonight. And like I said, been really looking forward to having you guys on. I've been kind of pulling for you guys since I heard about your story, and I'm from just down the road in Bolivar, so it's a really good thing to see Ozark kids, doing so good in competition barbecue. And I think you guys are just a really great story, and we really, kind of want to dive in and kind of get your guys' history and kind of your methods. I think our audience is really excited to hear from you guys on competition barbecue. So, my first question for you guys tonight is, if you look at the great majority of competition barbecue teams, everybody, for the most part, is middle-aged. And if you even kind of extrapolate that out, a lot of people have been cooking longer than you guys have been on planet Earth. What inspired you guys to get involved in cooking, and what got you inspired to get into competition barbecue at such a young age? Just feel free to jump in.
Okay. I think I really my dad's always been around cooking, and so I wanted to be a part of the competition barbecue too.
I thought it would be pretty interesting and fun to see competition barbecues like. So
I've always loved cooking, and I think a big part of it is the family aspect of barbecue is what really got me interested in it, because I saw that what other teams had been doing, and so I think that was a big part of it for me.
I joined because all the friends that you can make, all the competitions that you can go to from.
William, how about you?
Well, I joined because my parents own a butcher shop, and my dad thought it'd be cool to have a kid that does barbecue team, and I just decided to do it because I thought it'd be fun.
No, that's great. So do you guys think you're gonna stick with this? Do you think you're just gonna kind of do it through high school? Do you have any plans to continue cooking after you get out of high school and going off to college? And do you have any kind of plans beyond just the high school years to cook competitively?
Like to see where it takes.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I would love to see where it would take, how much I would learn.
I think other than competitions, getting older, it would be good to just have that skill for friends and family. You can have a big cookout and then being like, oh, I cooked that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, it's really great just to see, and really, honestly inspiring to see you guys getting involved, in your teen years. Because middle-aged guys like me and others, you run into, like I said, we're all kind of, like I said, we're in our 30s and 40s and older. It's kind of rare to catch teams that have younger people cooking in them. And I can only think of one off the top of my head, Jackson Abrams, who's 21. So this is just a really great thing to see you guys doing. Like I said, very inspiring, and I think our audience is really inspired by you kids getting involved in comp barbecue so early. So let's move on to another question. So, like we just kind of hit on you guys being younger, and that doesn't mean you're without skill at all. Far from it. Have you ever felt any sort of intimidation when you go to competitions, and in particular competing at competition with older teams?
I don't think we feel any intimidation because, well, personally, because I know we worked just as hard or harder as all of those other teams out there. And we've practiced and practiced and practiced and got together, and I think that's really important.
I think, honestly, I really think it as a practice and as anything else, just a practice.
I don't the fear of actually doing it and the nerves of getting out and going and competing. Older age people and probably more talented.
I really didn't have fear.
William, how about you?
Well, from it being my first year, I kind of did have a little bit. And like Skylar said, when you had to go and like do the competition, like turn in and stuff, I got nervous about that because I didn't know how good it would have been or if it was good enough for them.
So here's kind of an off-script question because it just made me think about you when you talk about practicing. About how often do y'all get together and practice a week? Just like on a given week, how often do you practice as a team?
A lot of the times our practices are individual. Like we just practice at home for our families. There's cars going by.
It's okay.
But we don't necessarily do it on a weekly basis because we do all of it at home. But when we do get together and practice, it's a really good atmosphere and it's fun to practice together as if we were in a competition.
For sure.
I think we practice more on our own time than we do with each other because we're all really busy and we don't really have time to practice with each other.
I'm agreeing with Skylar on this one because I and him practice a lot when we are at home together. I think that we're going to be cooking the same stuff in Oklahoma. So I know that we're like all practicing really well.
So do you guys ever get together as a team? Like Chuck, will you get them together as a team and have them practice all together to kind of get down kind of the chemistry that you have to have when you cook with multiple people in competition, or do you just keep them cooking individually? Chuck, can you hear me?
We get together before a big competition. I don't know if you can hear or not. Before a big competition, we all get together and practice together and get everything down to the nitty-gritty.
And when we do our group practices, we do it in our like 20 by 20 area, how it is for competition. So we do it we run through it exactly how we would, get up early, set up and everything. So I think that helps also running through it just how we would a competition.
No, and I'm sure like you guys have discovered, if you practice as intensely as you cook at competition, it's almost like muscle memory, right? Like you show up to competition, you get down into that flow, and it's like muscle memory, and you just hit it, and you just go. And you guys have obviously had success, and let's look. I mean, let's kind of run through your list of accomplishments, which is really amazing. So, 2021, the National High School Barbecue Association Reserve National Champions. Also in 2021, at the World Food Championships, which if anyone follows competitive cooking, is a no-joke competition. You guys were the world champions. You took first in ribs, first in the burger competition, second in chicken, second in dessert, and a 5th place steak. And that's at a huge competition with a lot of professional cooks and people who have been doing this a long time. And I mean, look what you guys accomplished. So how does it feel to go to those big competitions and compete like that and win these major awards?
It's almost like an adrenaline rush.
Sure.
It's really surreal.
I bet.
I remember at Worlds, Greg, Chloe, and I were almost all in tears because we were just so like. Yeah, guys.
It's really nerve-wracking thinking about what place you're gonna get.
That's definitely the worst part. I think the cooking is not the worst part. It's the waiting to see when you place.
I know exactly how you feel. Absolutely. So I'm going to continue down this list here because I want to give you guys your full due and get you your time in the sun here because, I mean, this list of accomplishments is really incredible. So 2022, Reserve State Champions. That was your JV squad. 3rd place team and varsity. 1st place ribs, 2nd place chicken. National championships in 2022. Grand champion in chicken was Will. Reserve grand champion Jordan Jackson. I mean, the list kind of goes on. And like I said, it's so impressive. You know, I'm a 38-year-old adult, and here I am inspired from you guys as high schoolers. And like I said, really congratulations on all this work. And Chuck, can you kind of shed some light on these kids' work ethic and the effort and the blood, sweat, and tears that they put in competition barbecue?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the practice they do at home with their families. You know, what other subject in school do you get to eat your homework, and your family gets to eat the homework, and your neighbors eat your homework, and you know that time that it takes to find time to cook a pork butt, cook a brisket, you know, grill steaks over and over till you get them close to perfect, and you know, make dessert after dessert, even though they may fail or be the best thing you've ever tried. And there's a lot of, as you are well aware of, money, time, and sweat and tears that go into that situation. And for high schoolers, you know, some of our students started last year's junior high and now are freshmen and got their first year of cooking under their belt. You know, they'll attest that the time is crazy at home. And then, you know, early mornings here to watch a video or to get a demo on something or make some decisions on tweaking our recipe cards or, you know, some of those things. And so it's just not something that you walk into and do. And those of you that have been in barbecue, you know that. And for high school students to add that to their already busy schedule, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. You better love it and you better like it.
Absolutely. No, I mean, you know, we're talking about kids here winning world championships and national championships. And like I said, the list goes on and on of the accomplishments. So we've talked about you guys practice a lot of the time as individuals. Then you go to competition and you compete as a team. So how do you decide who is doing what at competition? You know, how do you adjust to problems that come up? How do you overcome obstacles as a team during competition when you are practicing separate and then coming together at the actual competition? You know, how do you come up with those roles?
So as far as our roles, we do kind of assign. Everybody gets a try out. You know, last fall when we first started going to Worlds, okay, we put the list up that we were going to have to cook, and you know, who wants to do what, who thinks they really want to tackle this, and that's kind of how we started. We've done some tweaking along the way because we've graduated a senior here or there, and somebody's had to fill in and learn how to do ribs, and categories change on the high school side of things. You know, KCBS stays the same. High school changes every year. Something rotates in and out. So some students, it may be something they don't want to do and they want to try something different. And we have those discussions. And some kids, it's natural. Hey, they just got a knack for it and that's something they're good at. Others we've appointed and they've had to be trained up and taught. And, you know, some of them went to classes. And then we do have a big practice day. So we come in and we set up as a team. We put them in their 20 by 20 spot and they have to perform and they turn in to us. I have parents parents, alumni, different members that come up, and we judge them, blind box judging, just like they will at the contest. So they have that day of working through those little problems. And I'll let the kids talk about how they deal with the situations that come up and arise. And, Will there broke his ankle in a football game the other night, and he's awaiting surgery. And so, there's one of our upcoming struggles is he's going to be in a cast or a boot, and we're going to October there to cook, and he's going to have to cook a double. And for him to do that, he's going to have to stool his own work table. And so those are things that, we try to take care of ahead of time on big deals, but those things that pop up, I'll let the kids talk about that. Jordan, Grace, how do you overcome problems?
I ask for help from my teammates. If I need a break or if I need help with something, I'll ask Jordan or anybody on the team to help me out.
Usually when I'm in of help I'm the chick to ask if she's usually the only one open. At that time, it's just really, sometimes it's a struggle, sometimes it's really not. She always helps out. So
I personally overcome struggles by asking for help and asking teammates. Just ask whatever help you need. Just ask somebody; they'll help.
The way that I struggles is probably just walking, taking a breath, and then going back to it.
I think one of the big things that a lot of people out there probably don't realize on the high school side of things, unlike KCBS or St. Louis Barbecue Society or any of the other ones out there sanctioning bodies, high school barbecue, there's no one allowed in their 20 by 20 work area. So, one of the things to help us out, no matter what we're cooking this year, that's how we're going to run every contest. So I will not go in there. Parent can't go in there. A coach from another place, a team that's helped us out before, they will not be allowed in that 20 by 20 area, because for high school barbecue, if an adult reaches into their area, the team is automatically disqualified. And so it is up to those teammates to help each other and solve problems. It has to be an emergency situation for an adult to do that. In fact, if they want me to try something and they have to hand it off to me, I can try it. I can give them some advice, and then they're on their own to make that decision. Am I going to follow Mr. Simpson's advice, or no, I love it and then I'm sticking with it, and that's what I'm going to ride with. And I'm the only one that can give them that advice like that. Once they've turned their boxes in on the high school, then they can distribute their food across the line to the parents or judges, or not judges, but anybody standing around, onlookers and stuff like that. But it's a little different than how the adults compete.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't have any, really a clue about how that operated at the high school level, and that can be kind of a daunting, task for the team that you or another adult cannot step foot in that cook space, or it's a disqualification. But like I said, obviously you guys are doing so good. Like I said, I know I've been getting word here. My audio cuts out every time I lean forward. So here, before we let you guys go, I will read off your accomplishments so everybody can hear them and appreciate them. What kind of what do you guys cook on? Do you cook on offsets? Do you cook on drums? What kind of smokers do you guys run at competitions?
By competition, drum smokers, we run Hunsaker Vortexes.
Okay, Hunsaker. Shout out to Hunsaker Smokers, one of our sponsors.
So we run several Hunsakers. We have a couple copycat drums, that were made, and then we're actually testing right now a K4L, for one of Kelly's smokers. And the things that I like about it's short to the ground. It has spring-fed lids. So, I've got some students that are junior high students, and a big full-size drum, they can't reach over correctly and get a fire the coals out of there correctly and stuff without burning themselves. And so we cook on drums, but we have 3 different styles that we're currently using, and sometimes it's about what drum fits the kid the best, as far as that goes. But I sure have been impressed with our kids and their ability to cook on the Hunsaker. I'll tell you that.
No, those Kelly Wirtz drums are starting to really catch on. It seems like, I know Kelly is cooking. He's gone to nothing but his drum at competition, and boy, that guy can cook with the best of them. And I know he's winning with those drums. So yeah, shout out to Kelly Wirtz and his new K4L. Those things are really, really good rigs out there. So, what might you guys say to another young person who is interested in competition cooking, maybe a little apprehensive or intimidated about cooking in competition cooking, competition barbecue? What kind of words of advice do you guys have for anyone looking to get into competitive cooking?
Do it. Just try it out.
Personally, I would talk to them about it and ask if they have a question, and give them some advice about cooking.
I that really want to know if how actually.
Anybody else?
Personally, I'd just tell them go for it. There'll be people to help you out there. People that help you out.
I would tell them to do it because it's a great opportunity, and if you don't like it, you don't have to do it the next year, but it's really fun, and you grow a bond with your team. So
Go for it.
Talk about you. Any kind of words of advice or encouragement to kids out there looking to get into competition barbecue or just competitive cooking in general?
I think the big thing is especially on the high school side, and Razor Racks has been showing it don't take much to win. A drum, a pop up, and the tools to do it. I mean, it doesn't take much, and that's what's great about barbecue competition at the high school level. Even if you want to be the Dutch oven cook, all you have to have is a Dutch oven. If you want to cook steaks and pork chops and burgers, it don't take much of a little grill to do that. You don't have to have a $900 or $1,200 drum smoker or a $500 drum smoker. You don't take much, and it just takes a desire to want to do it. And I think the biggest thing is just get involved. I think once you're involved, you're hooked. I mean, our students that went to the World Food Championship last year that just went as alternates and just watched, both those young ladies are starting cooks for us on the high school side this year. And they cook nonstop, and they love it, and they enjoy it, and they get into it. Rihanna's been followed because she wears goggles. She's short, and so for her to get stuff out of the big drums, she's got goggles on her face so that she can actually see with the smoke that close. And Bree is cooking all kinds of things, and those two went to Worlds last year and just got to watch and hang out and see everything. And so I think if a student would just give it a chance, they'll realize it's fun. And I think one of the things, as if I could tell a parent, it probably will bring your family closer together. And yes, it's going to cost a little bit of money and food, but when your teenage kid cooks you supper that night, or I had 3 kids up until the other day that lived on the same street, and they're cooking 3 different items, and those families are eating what those kids are cooking. And I think that's awesome. And I get calls and, Mr. Simpson, can I bring you this? Or are you in town? Can you try this? And, it's great for me because what other homework in 23 years has a kid called me on a Sunday night and said, hey, you want a chunk of steak? Or can I bring you some brisket to try? Nobody calls and says, hey, can I bring my plant science material to you and see whether I got it right? I mean, it's definitely been different on my side too. And so I think to a kid, just give it a chance. You'll realize it's one of the funnest things you're going to do, and you're going to learn so much. And what I could tell teachers and adults out there in my position is the science that goes into barbecue is unreal. And I'm learning all the time, from the pH into the water you use to the different salts amounts you use and the type of salt to how the amount that you inject into meat. I mean, there's a lot goes into this that, the pro master guys have got down to a science, and there's a lot to learn, and it's very educational.
No, absolutely. So let's try to read the list of accomplishments here. Because like I said, I want to give you guys your full due here. And like I said, this is a laundry list of accomplishments. So 2021, National High School Barbecue Association Reserve National Champions. 2021, we're at the World Foods Championship, National High School Barbecue Association World Champions. First place ribs, first place burger, for second place chicken, second place dessert, and fifth place steak. Also in 2022, reserve state champions, that was your JV squad. Third place team for varsity, first place ribs, second place chicken. National champions, it looks like National High School Barbecue Association. JV was 9th overall. You had the grand champion in chicken, that was Will Murray. Reserve grand champion in chicken, that's Jordan Jackson. Fifth place ribs, sixth place ribs, seventh place brisket, and 10th place brisket. And like I said, my hat goes off to you guys because at such a young age and to be competing at such a high level is really commendable. So you guys should be really proud of yourself. And I know that Mr. Simpson is really proud of you guys and all you've accomplished in competition. And I have no doubt that you guys will continue to go further in competitive cooking. Like I said, really, congratulations, guys. Those are amazing accomplishments.
Zach, I'm going to add one more thing in there that's not on your list. Our kids cooked in their first ever KCBS Master Series this summer and cooked a double. Day one was absolutely mortifying for them. Total learning. Two of the pro teams that were sitting there come in, gave them a ton of pointers. Day two, they walked in, placed in the top 10 in a master series. Skylar Woolers pulled off a second place pork. Bree Daly pulled off top 10 both days in brisket. We pulled off 11th place in ribs. Jordan, chicken, what did you pull off? 10th place. Our Keaton there got first place in an ancillary and wings. Grace, cheese. These kids have cooked against masters. They kind of got their feet wet really quick there doing that this summer. But that's one of the things I was extremely proud of because the master teams that were there giving them some advice, they come up and they said, Chuck, your kids close their mouth, they listen, they ask the right questions, and they are just hungry to learn. And I said, that's what's great about this group. They want to learn. They want to take everything they can and try to make the best product possible. And so, I'm extremely proud of this group.
Absolutely, as well as you should be. And you guys should be proud of yourselves because to not only cook a Master Series competition, but to cook a double, which is exhausting for people my age, like I said, and then to place and get calls against people, some of these who do it for a living is an unbelievable accomplishment. So again, guys, congratulations on all these things. And, we talk about this all the time. How do you get people involved in competition barbecue? Where should KCBS look? They should look to guys like you. Because how do you grow the sport? You get people involved at young ages that come up in this environment and they get a fire, lit under them to compete and to be successful. So like I said, I can't gush about you guys any more than I am. Like I said, it is the most inspiring thing that I've heard in competition barbecue or just anywhere in a long time, in a really long time. Like I said, unbelievable. So tell us what's next. Tell the audience what's next for Muddy River Smokers. Do you have any big competitions coming up? What are you guys getting ready for?
October 7th through the 9th, we go for queuing for a cause in Oklahoma. November 11th through the 13th, we go to the World Food Championship again in Dallas. And then after that, we're going to take a break for a little bit and just rest.
Yeah, so my wife and I, we cook on the backyard circuit, and we will be down cooking at Tahlequah for Q for a Cause, and that's going to be a really great competition. There are so many good teams that are coming in from across the country for Nick Davis's comp. Like I said, it's going to be really cool to meet you guys in person down at that one. So Chuck, I have one more question for you, and this is really just kind of help out you guys. And is there any way that an audience member or anybody out there in the community can help you guys? Are there things you look for? What can the barbecue community do to come together and help you guys continue to compete?
Well, I think any of us here in the state of Missouri that are cooking, because we're not the only team. I think the big things is, we used a couple pallets of charcoal last year. I used over $1,000 worth of rubs and sauces, and that's besides what I got donated. A lot of the companies are selling to us for wholesale to try to help me out. Some of the barbecue stores are giving us discounts. We have cash sponsors that are on our trailer that we compete out of. There's a wide array of things. The biggest thing is just reach out to us. I'm going to get a shout out to the Missouri teams, Pleasant Hill, Appleton City, Marion C. Early down there at Polk County, Pocomo. We're running 5 teams in Missouri. We have several more that's getting added. I'm working with right now. If you reach out to me and say, hey, I'm in this area and I'd like to, help a team out. I may have a team that's getting ready to start there that needs some help, that may be looking for somebody. Hey, you'll go buy me 20 bags of charcoal. It may sound little, but 20 bags of charcoal we know is expensive. Or hey, is there a type of sauce you want me to buy you guys? I'm going to buy you a case of sauce or a certain type of rub, or, to the young people that are starting out there, the $100 investment for the barbecue league is one of the greatest investments you'll ever make. Buy a team a subscription to that. It is helpful beyond belief. The library of videos in there is unreal. It's pretty wide open. Some places need smokers and grills. I had a parent walk in and unloaded a PK grill for me one day. My heart just, burst because I know what a PK costs, and that's huge to me. I've had parents, just show up and there's stuff here. And so that helps us out besides the fundraising that we're doing. Reaching out, or, if you're not sure if there's a team in your area, just let me know. And I'll get somebody even locally there that may have a team or closer to you than us even. I'm not stingy. I want all the help I can get for my kids. We're running 9 high school kids. I've got 2 more that's coming up to high school, and I'm going to try to run a junior high team for in-state this year. And because I've got 5 junior high kids that are excited about learning, and I just can't turn them away because I know once they're hooked, they'll be in the high school team for me for 4 years. So,
absolutely. Like I said, well, hopefully you guys will join the Midwest Backyard Competition Barbecue group we have on Facebook. A lot of really great resources for you kids on there, and I know people would love to be able to help you out in any way they can. Like I said, myself and I think a lot of others are really inspired by what you guys do, and we want to be able to have the barbecue family come together and help you guys in any way that we can. We want to keep you guys involved in doing this.
Well, we sure appreciate you having us on the show.
Oh, hey, no, it's been my pleasure, really. And I know Ryan, it's his pleasure too. This is one we've been looking forward to for a while. Like I said, once I heard about you guys, like I said, I knew we just had to have you on. So, like I said, guys, we're gonna let you go. Thank you guys so much for coming on here. Chuck, thank you so much for getting these kids involved in this sport that we love, and we wish you guys nothing but success going forward. And good luck in Tahlequah, and definitely good luck down in Dallas at World Foods.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
How inspiring are those kids, right? This is an unbelievable thing. And we talk all the time about how the barbecue family comes together, how the barbecue community comes together. And what's a way to get people involved in this community, you get young people involved in it. We want people of all ages, obviously, to get involved, but to get kids that are 13 and 14 and 15 involved in KCBS, involved in Comp Barbecue is really an unbelievable thing. So we'll eventually put up a link to reach out to them on Facebook. We can put you in touch with Chuck Simpson if you feel like donating them or helping them out in any way. Please consider it because we want to keep these kids involved in competition barbecue and competitive cooking as long as we can. So I do apologize for a little bit of the audio hiccup. Like I said, it's kind of funny whenever I lean forward that I lose audio, but like I said, my apologies for that. But I did want to make sure to get those kids' accomplishments out there because really it's awe-inspiring what these kids have done just in a couple of years being involved in competition barbecue. Well, that's all I've got for you tonight on behalf of myself and Ryan Kane. This has been another episode of Midwest Backyard Matters, proudly presented by Man Meat BBQ. Whether you are out on the driveway, in the backyard, or out on the KCBS competition trail, always remember that backyard matters. Good night, everybody.
Midwest Backyard Matters, brought to you by Man Meat BBQ. Additional sponsors: American Fire Barbecue and Grilling Supply, Sofa King Awesome Barbecue, Trauma Hogs Barbecue, and Hunsaker Smokers.